Get the comfy chair!
Welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Odd with your host, Mark and Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hey.
So, comfy chair time. It's been a couple of months, probably. So what we do in this is just talk about usually one or more, depending on how many we've got, bad or odd, and then for good. And it can be games, TV shows, video games, that kind of thing, right? So I've just thought of something I wanted to add to my list, so I'm just making a note. That's why I stopped mid-flow. I just thought, I was like, I want to talk about this. Okay, so let's start with our bad. Can you start this?
Okay, yeah. My bad is Dawn of War 3, which is a game it's set in the Warhammer 40,000 sort of universe. And it's a sequel to two games that I really like, Dawn of Wars 1 and 2. But this game just it didn't work as well. Like, it just wasn't fun.
I've played the Dawn of War 1 and 2, and those were the last really good PC games I played, I'd say.
Yeah.
I just really like them, so 3 doesn't work.
Yeah, it's just everything about it seems more like clinical and by the numbers, if that makes sense.
Do you feel you're too on the rails? Is that the problem?
Yeah, like, okay, so an example is...
Let's describe the game for people. Describe Dawn of War.
It's an RTS. It's sort of like Age of Empires, that sort of game.
So you're controlling little minions to do tasks, gather, explore, go fight when things attack. And you're trying to balance all of these resources, right? Build new structures, build tech, all that, right?
Yeah, I'll upgrade that. I'll give you an example of how it, it really falls flat. In the first game, the tutorial was integrated as part of the story. So you play as, training your earlier units to be, proper sort of main units for your force. Yeah. That's kind of interesting, and it doesn't break the fourth wall. The second game is kind of similar. You're ducking between cover, and you're finding more and more squads on the battlefield, and it's like, here's how you move them. It keeps that contained to text boxes. In the third game, you're stuck in a little area. It's like, here is how you build. You must select your command center and click this button 3 times.
Oh, that sounds nitty.
It's super restrictive, and it's like, what?
You haven't got it stuck.
It doesn't integrate it at all. It's so.
That sounds bad. Yeah, I agree.
It breaks very similar to it.
It's not on training mode or something goofy like that, is it?
No, I tried the main campaign, and they're like, you need to right click to send your soldiers this way. It's like, why would you?
Why would you make it that way, right?
Yeah. Relic were doing so well. They did Company of Heroes, which was great. Dawn of War, which was great.
Dawn of War and Dawn of War 2 are really good games. I definitely recommend
they're really good,
them.
but they're really different. And
I'd say they were
cool.
Weird. Weird. Yeah, that's
really
a shame.
Falls flat.
That is a shame. That is a shame. So bad. Wouldn't recommend that, right?
No.
And that's a PC game. Okay, my bad is a sequel to a film I quite like. It's Grease 2. And I quite like Grease. Do you like Grease? I'm not sure if it's your cup of tea.
I'm okay with it.
You don't mind it, right? The songs are catchy, at least, right? Grease 2. Oh, man. Grease 2. Now, I've put it in my bad. I think it qualifies as odd somewhat because some of the bonkers decision making they had associated with this film. But I have to tell you, I laughed quite a bit all the way through, and the further the film went in, the more I laughed. And honestly, I was having trouble breathing by the final section because it just got so mental. Yeah. I just couldn't help myself. Michelle Pfeiffer's in it. She's pretty good, actually. I think the plot is kind of almost like a reverse thing of Grease, in that it's like the bad girl. Grease was kind of the bad boy and the good girl. Well, it's more like the bad girl because she's head of the Pink Ladies, and the good boy because he's like a student from England who's happens to be a cousin of Sandy, though they never ever talk about it apart from the very first scene. Played by a guy called Maxwell Caulfield, who basically his career is wrecked by this film, and he blames this film for setting his career back 10 years. But he was pretty bad in it, He wasn't great. And his singing, his particular singing voice was terrible. Michelle Pfeiffer was all right, actually. She was all right singing and in the part, but it was bad. The T-Birds have all been updated to these new guys who are the T-Birds of this year. I think it's set like 3 years after Grease. And there's a few of the characters from Grease in it, like Frenchie turns up as like she's gone back to school to be a senior student. Though she's only in it for like 2 scenes. She was kind of almost written out of it, I think. And she don't know why. They were still writing it as they went. And there was like the head mistress and her psychic were in it, and the coach played by Sid Caesar was in it. And Eugene, for some bizarre reason, is still at the school as well. But otherwise it's all new people, and it's kind of it's got that Grease fun vibe at the beginning, set in the same high school. But some of the song choices are like, it really went to left field when there was a song where a biology teacher had to give a talk about reproduction, and they actually had a song reproduction as a number, and essentially the choreography was kind of the boys being sex pests to the girls, making lewd gestures while they were singing. Let me just give you some of the lyrics though. I was laughing my head off during this, and in fact I'm going to send you the YouTube link sometime to this song, because it's like, wow, you have to see it to believe it. This is some of the lyrics. Right, let's find some of the choicest ones. Oh God, they can go on and on. Okay. The parts of a flower are so constructed that very, very often the wind will cause pollination. If not, then a bee or any other nectar-gathering creature can create the same situation. Anything gets the pollen to the pistils, right out to the list. Let's make it crystal clear. The flower's insatiable passion turns its life into a circus of debauchery. Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, hold on. Now you see just how the statement gets its lusty dust onto the stigma, and why this frenzied chlorophyllis orgy starts in spring is no enigma. Yeah, and it goes on like that. It's a really unbelievable. Anyway, the rest of the film's pretty terrible. The T-Birds are really quite second rate compared to the first films, and what made me laugh is like the big guy, the head of the gang, is a little short dude, and apparently when they were casting, they considered Tom Cruise, and they decided they wanted someone taller than Tom Cruise, but this guy's short as well, so I don't get it. Imagine, let's say, let's not have Tom Cruise, let's have this guy. I guess Tom Cruise wasn't famous then, but Tom Cruise has got a lot of charisma. I really can't see how you'd pass him up. And they had like song and dance numbers in a bowling alley, and there was a song, "We're Gonna Score," right? A song, "We're Gonna Score," and the song goes, "We're gonna score tonight," and the subline is "in a bowling alley." Oh man, it just gets worse. It was really bad. And at the end, it ends with a gang of bikers attacking a Hawaiian luau in a swimming pool, but they're just kind of driving their bikes into the swimming pool. It felt like a weird proto water world. It's like, why would you wreck your motorbike by driving it into a swimming pool? I don't get it. Yeah, it was really bad. It was really, I mean, some of them couldn't sing. That didn't help. They even got Crater Face, the bloke who was like about 35 in Greece, who raced on Thunder Road with Grease Lightning. He was still in it. He was singing and dancing. He couldn't sing either. It was really grim. Yeah, don't watch this film. But having said that, I did laugh an awful lot all the way through it. Okay, back to you.
Okay,
so we're doing
my
the goods
first
now.
one. Yeah.
Go on then.
Okay, so my first one is a game called Crossout on the PC. I think it might be on other platforms, but I can't really remember. But I'm playing it on PC. Yeah. What it basically is a build-your-own-car Mad Max combat game.
Oh, cool.
It sounds mental. So you start off with, you build your car from the ground up. So you start with, frames, and then you can put stuff on top. And you can make these huge vehicles and give them, hover engines and, spider legs and all sorts of stuff. And just strap cannons and guns.
Nice.
And all sorts of stuff.
When you started, I said it sounds a bit like the actual game Mad Max. But no, it sounds like a lot more fun.
It's like a multiplayer game. It's a team combat sort of thing. So you go in and you capture points.
Carmageddon? Maybe?
Well,
I don't know. I haven't played that. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's MMO.
A little bit, but it's more like just an online multiplayer game.
Okay.
Competitive multiplayer game as opposed to an MMO.
Okay. So you're doing what do you do? Short contests, or is it just right?
You do short you shoot each other. You basically shooting each other, and whichever team is left standing wins, sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay. So, cool. Sounds good.
There are some others you can play. You can basically do the rig chase from Mad Max 2.
Nice.
You have to guard this big rig as it travels to an oil derrick.
Yeah,
there's people going to attack you. On the flip side, you can attack a big rig.
Nice. Yeah. Sounds good.
It's
Sounds
really
like
fun.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, my first good is a film from I think 1971 called Melody. This stars the two of the child leads from Oliver, Jack Wilde and Mark Lester. But in this, they're contemporary schoolboys, in effect, year one, not year one. What is it, 11, 12-year-olds? Yeah. In a South London school, so it's kind of my upbringing and my era, this film. And essentially, it's them goofing around in school, and you kind of see what school was like in that part of the world at that time. They kind of have to do stuff like Latin, and they all hate it, and there's all these school kids goofing around, and essentially it turns into quite a kind of a sweet little kind of love story between one of the girls and one of the boys who's Mark Lester, and everyone's making fun of them, because it's school, right? And again, love a boy, all that sort of stuff. But the soundtrack's mostly by the Bee Gees in their early days. This is 6 years before Saturday Night Fever, say, and they're doing slightly different kind of song, bit folky kind of music, really sweet and really well made film, and quite nice. For film lovers out there, it was written, I believe, by Alan Parker, who went on to make stuff like Angel Heart and Fame and stuff like that. Bugsy Malone. But this is sort of a contemporary. It's kind of a drama comedy. We see how Mark Lester's parents, they're attentive, but they don't really get him, and they kind of force him to. His mother makes him do hobbies he doesn't really want to do, and it's only his friendships that kind of bring it to life. And it's kind of a sweet film, and I really, really like this film, much more so than it actually is, if you know what I mean. I like it more than I know it should be rated, but I give it a 9 out of 10. I like it that much because of the era. It's sort of nostalgia factor. I really like the music and stuff. It's really, and Mark Lester, particularly Jack Wilde. Jack Wilde's really good. We see it. I've only really seen him in Oliver This and HR Puffin stuff, and I think he's got a lot of charisma, Jack Wilde, as a boy. Okay, back to you.
Okay, now my next one is I just watched the film Dark Crystal.
Dark Crystal. You know what?
The Jim Henson puppet one.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it. I've only seen clips, but I do remember the bad guys are the Skeksis, right? Which is a cool name.
Yeah, the Skeksis, these weird vulture things that are basically like House Harkonnen. They're pretty much just House Harkonnen from Dune.
Wow.
They basically just want to kill the planet.
It's
And
kids.
they're, like,
It's a kids' film, right?
draining the life out of people. Yeah, they're draining the life out of these like little baby things called podlings.
Wow,
to survive.
that's grim. That's so grim. Is it
And
Disney?
you like see their eyes like. No, I don't think it's Disney. I think it's just Jim Henson Company.
Okay.
But it's really mental. But it's also got possibly the least involved main characters ever. Like, they don't really do anything. They just sort of... They go to a place, get told about something, and then someone else takes them to another place, and then something else takes them to another place. They're just sort of there for the ride, pretty much.
Okay. No, I don't know why I thought it was Disney, but it was produced by Gary Kurtz, who was involved in Star Wars quite heavily. Certainly producing Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back, so that's kind of interesting. And The Return to Oz. And actually, the bits I've seen of this film kind of remind me a bit of Return to Oz, thinking about it. But yeah, sorry, I'm cutting across you.
Very weird like that. What it's about is the titular Dark Crystal has a crack in it that's got a little sliver went missing, and you just... This kid called Jen, has to fix the crystal, and he characters away. Like, he meets this old witch lady called Olga, who's pretty funny, but there's a deleted scene. This is going to take a bit of backstory. Where, because the Skeksis were originally supposed to have their own language that didn't get like subtitled or anything.
Wow, so they just
be like screaming stuff.
Right.
Yeah. And the writer, because they write the scenes in English and then just do the Skeksis language. The writer watched one of the scenes and begged Jim Henson to change it from what I found online.
Okay.
It's just like, please put voices in there.
Why? Because it looked
the deleted
weird.
Scene where with the original voices, we found out that Frank Oz is the voice of Olga for the thing, and he's doing the Fozzie Bear voice.
Oh no! Which is a bit Yoda, right?
Around screaming insults at people, and it sounds like Fozzie Bear. It's hilarious.
Wow!
I highly recommend finding it.
Wow, that's yeah. That sounds well. Did you enjoy the film or not?
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah. So, like I said, I don't think I've ever seen it.
Was very strange.
Yeah.
It's like, it's one of those films where it's like, I think I need to read a book about this just to fully understand what happened.
Right. Okay, that sounds
good. Because, like, it's mental.
It's almost like Lord of the Rings kind of inspired stuff, I suppose, with Muppets.
Yeah. And there is a prequel coming out on Netflix next year, I think.
Whoa, really?
So that's... Yeah.
Netflix.
It's called, like, Dawn of the Stone or something like that.
Okay. Might have to watch this sometime then. Dawn of the Stone.
Yeah, I highly recommend watching it.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Let's go
Age of Resistance. I'm thinking of something
completely different. Okay. All right. Well, I'll go on to my next one. Breakfast Club. I finally got around to the Breakfast Club, which you have talked about on a comfy chair episode. Well, sorry, no, in a comfy chair at some point. I do remember distinctly you wasn't. Yeah, you were quite unimpressed. You thought it was a bit dull.
Yeah, because I've heard it like touted as like sort of the voice of a generation sort of thing.
It was really a load of moaners.
Nothing really happened.
No, it's a drama.
Complaining.
To me, it felt a bit... I liked it. It took me a little to get into, though, because they looked like whiny kids at first. But some bits of it, there was some writing which was a little overly dramatic, but actually pretty good performances. I thought Judd Nelson and Molly Ringwald were particularly good, actually. But I liked it all. It felt a bit like a play rather than a film. I think this would work quite well as a play. And interesting, because I was expecting to be more comedic, but actually it was kind of serious drama. I mean, they had the goofy moments, but it was kind of a drama rather than a comedy, right? It did make me laugh when Emilio Estevez kept threatening Judd Nelson, and I kept thinking, dude, that guy'd kick your ass. Because he was about.
I don't know.
I don't know. He was about. I mean, they did say that Emilio Estevez was fast and strong, right? And at one point, he does actually
he's like
wrestle him
head
down.
of the football team or something like
no,
that.
head of the wrestling team.
Even more so.
What really surprised me is what a douchebag the headmaster was. He was a proper dick.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird how dickish he was, because I was expecting to be lighter, a bit like Ferris Bueller or something, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
right?
it's not that.
It's a bit more serious than that, and I kind of liked it. And in fact, I noticed that apparently it's been put in the Library of Congress as being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. Probably culturally significant, I would imagine. But yeah, I thought it was all right. I didn't mind it at all. I can kind of see why you'd get bored with it, for sure. I could definitely see why that would happen. But I thought it was pretty damn solid. So what's your number 4?
My number 4 is my number 2, rather, is the another PC game called Warthunder.
Warthunder.
Which is a World War II tank fighting simulator.
Okay.
So you're like cruising around in these old clunky tanks, and the reticule. It's got this cool mechanic where you're looking isn't necessarily where the cannon is looking.
Yeah.
Because the turrets swivel slowly, so you got to like line up and then wait for the turret to get in. And there's always these super tense moments where you and another tank will pull into the same area with your turrets looking different ways, and you just have to sort of sit there and try and figure out if their turret's going to move quick enough to get you, or yours is going to get there first.
It's kind of a tension game.
It's really fun.
Oh, apparently, I was just
you
looking
can get
up.
some especially fun snipes on it, where you just like do long shots and it'll immediately like pierce armor and kill all the crew inside.
Nice.
Sneaky
tank. No, it's interestingly, it's a cross-platform, so you can play it on Windows, Mac, Linux, PlayStation 4, and Android even. Whoa, that's kind of bizarrely cross platform. That is so good fun, is it?
Yeah, it's mental.
I might take a look at this. Yeah. See if I can get it working on my Mac. Why not?
It's also got a plane thing, but I'm not that good at plane games, so I almost always, it's like I spawn into the plane and I immediately die.
Yeah, so. I know what you mean. I'm always crashing planes whenever I have to fly something.
Yeah.
Can't get this. Published by Gaijin Entertainment.
Yeah, Gaijin, who are the same people that did Crossout.
Okay. Gaijin. So Russian.
Yeah, it technically runs off the same launcher. Yeah, there's a lot of Russians in this game.
Okay. My next one is a game, in fact. I don't usually talk about games, but yeah, PS4 exclusive Spider-Man, the Spider-Man game, which when it came out, I wasn't entirely sure because it was getting 7 out of 10s in the reviews. I thought, well, I like Spider-Man, I'll give it a go. And then I heard it was a bit like Arkham Asylum, which I love. So I thought, okay, I'll give it a go. Now, I have to say, the first few hours of playing, I had problems with this because it kind of, the moves you do, because I am used to Arkham Asylum and it was so very similar to Arkham Asylum. I was actually hitting the buttons I would in Arkham Asylum to do certain moves and they weren't mapped the same, so I was constantly kind of dying or getting badly injured because instead of like ducking, I was kind of just jumping up and down. Do you know what I mean? It was kind of that kind of issue. But man, this, once I got the key mapping straight in my head, great game. Great game. There's a few flaws. There's, for example, there's like silly missions where you have to chase pigeons, which seems ridiculous. And they're kind of hard to catch, which doesn't help. There's also long sections where you're taking control of another character, not Spider-Man, and they got to do like stealth missions, so they're like creeping around guards and making noises so that they can, sneak past the guard, which are a bit dull. I find a bit dull and not getting on with the plot. Though I have to say the actual story is terrific. This will be a great film, in fact. And considering it makes use and proper use of some of these Spider-Man's big arch nemesis in a in a coherent story. It's quite impressive. Doc Octopus is in there, for example. Rhino, Scorpion, Vulture. Is it Electro? And there's another one called Shocker, who's also turns up early. Kingpin is there early. In fact, your first boss is Kingpin. Great game. I must have put about 30 hours into it, and I'm right at the end, and I'm having trouble beating the last boss, who I won't reveal. And I kind of think I might not bother, because I know that I've kind of beat the rest of the game, and I really have 100%ed most of the rest of it, because I really enjoyed sort of, and you got challenges on challenges on challenges. And the whole Spider-Man fighting dynamic and the Spider-Man web slinging dynamic, moving through the city is perfect. Absolutely perfectly done. So it's a very, very high recommend for me, this game. I really liked it. One good one for me. Right, okay, your last one.
Okay, my last one is Bojack Horseman Season 5. It's a Netflix original, so you can only really get it there.
Yeah.
It's about a washed-up horse who acted in a sitcom in the 90s and is now kind of trying to do stuff.
Yeah. So it's an allegory for washed-up actors, I suppose.
Yeah, kind of, but it's probably one of the satires of Hollywood that you can really get. Hollywood and sort of pop celebrity culture.
Oh, nice.
Because like Bojack himself is a complete douchebag, and the show isn't afraid to portray him as a douchebag. And there's all his friends who are kind of either socialites or actors and all sorts of stuff. It's it's horrendously biting, and there's always an episode where they take it to a complete extreme. Whether it's to do with Bojack's own depression, alcoholism, drug abuse, etc. And it's every time you just sort of sat there going, no, because he's completely destroying everything about his life every time.
Well, because he's just not thinking,
horrendously dark.
He's on his tear.
He's just acting horrendously. There's one, not this season, but a few seasons ago, he went to find this girl that he loved when he was younger.
Yeah.
And he met her, and he found out he had a family. She had a family, rather. And there's a 17-year-old daughter. And you can probably figure where this is starting to go. He doesn't do it, but he gets close to it. And he admits that he might have gone through with it.
Oh dear.
And that's the horrendous moment of that season.
Okay.
Oh, it's a nightmare, this show, but it's amazing to watch because there's so many stupid jokes that the writers love tongue twisters, so the characters are constantly just saying tongue twisters, and there's background jokes you see a depressed rabbit marathon runner, because they use animal jokes to really well in the show. So you see a depressed rabbit done up like a marathon runner in a restaurant in the background, and then as the camera pans over, you can see 3 turtles all looking pleased at themselves in the same marathon outfits.
Nice.
Sort of slowly lifting glasses in congratulations.
Wow.
There's stuff like that. It's amazing, but it's so biting and dark.
Yeah. Sounds alright,
Yeah.
I can see it. Okay, how's it compared to the other seasons?
I quite like the individual episodes, but it didn't really have the same... Like I say, there's usually one episode where it all goes wrong, and this one didn't have the same sort of bite to it.
Right.
It was more Bojack just kind of went crazy, as opposed to these are the horrible truths about Bojack.
Okay.
Sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It's difficult to explain.
Yeah.
So, without spoiling a lot. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
I've watched one episode.
I'll go watch it.
I watched one episode, season 1 of one episode, and you could tell he was a shallow, vacuous douche of some sort.
Yeah.
It was kind of self-obsessed and kind of washed up But that's all I got from it.
Yeah.
It wasn't really my cup of tea, but I can kind of see how it'd work.
Yeah, the first three or four episodes are a bit different, but it properly settles in by episode 4 or 5.
Okay.
So,
that's all right. Okay, my last one is a TV series on Hulu called Castle Rock. It's essentially a story set in it's a TV series set in the Stephen King universe. There's lots of references to stuff going on. For example, there's a girl character called Jackie Torrance, who talks about her uncle, who went crazy and tried to kill his family with an axe. There's talk about, that time a dog went rabid, up in... Because Castle Rock is the town where Kojo was based. It's also the town where the Dead Zone, some of the action events with a serial killer happened. And there's references to that. But there's all sorts of other references, both direct and indirect, to the entire Stephen King sort of universe. And I wouldn't say I was an expert on Stephen King, but I'm I'm close to expertise. I just haven't read everything, but I read an awful lot, and I was seeing references there that were deep, that you just wouldn't know about unless you were read a lot of Stephen King and watched a lot of Stephen King TV and thought about it a bit. Do you know what I mean? But they weren't not spoilers. They weren't derailing in any way. You know how Marvel universe building in the early films was quite derailing to the main plots. None of that in this. It was kind of direct and to the point, and some of it was kind of also Lovecraftian. One of the characters in it was played by Bill Skarsgård, who played Pennywise in It. And there was a whole event involving, which was really weirdly paralleling It, where something happened and some outcome of it happened 27 years later. So how about that? And it was interesting because Skarsgård's character, who was very ambiguous, you couldn't tell if he was evil or if bad things just happened around him. For example, you couldn't quite tell, and he was kind of set up as the evil one, an evil bad character right at the beginning. But you're thinking, is that a red herring to make us think something else is going on? Interesting show, 10 episodes, and I'm not going to talk about it anymore because I might spoil it. But there was solid acting, solid writing. Bits of it felt like we're riffing on True Detective season 1. Bits of it felt like they were riffing on Twin Peaks season 3 as well. So there was you felt like elements were coming from elsewhere, or they were just paralleling, some sort of equivalence, parallel evolution. They just happened to be similar rather than being riffing on each other. I couldn't tell, but very solid show. And Bill Skarsgård in it made it. Had that connection, and also Sissy Spacek was in it. The first Stephen King film was Carrie with Sissy Spacek, and she's in this as well, which is kind of interesting. There's an old lady with Alzheimer's, and that has this aspect of, is she just you've got Alzheimer's, or is she existing? Does she see things the rest of us don't see? Is that kind of stuff going on? So really good. Ambiguous at the end, a little. It was going to make me laugh because it was getting to the end. I was thinking, I wonder if it's going to be a bad ending, which would make it proper Stephen King. I was joking to myself. But actually, I quite liked it all the way through. I think I need to rewatch it again because it was quite dense. Without you needing to feel, you have to rewatch it to understand. It was perfectly understandable what was going on, but there was a lot of layers and density to it. So I think our first watch is quite satisfying, but a second one might be even more satisfying. I definitely recommend it. So it's rather good. All right, that kind of brings us to the end, right? So next time we were planning to cover Cowboy Bebop, right? So we'll be next time we record, we'll get to that. But there are an awful lot of episodes to it, and I personally am only on episode 8. I think there's 26, so it's quite a lot. Yeah. Where are you at? Do you know? Off the top of your head?
Can't remember off the top of my head.
Is it in the teens or are you still in the first 10?
I think I'm in the first 10.
Okay,
So,
right. So we've got a fair bit to go. I'm aiming to watch 2 a day to try and get through it, but we'll see. Okay, kind of enjoying it. Anyway, we'll talk about that when we get to it. Okay, so bye from me.
Bye.